Have you ever wondered if there's more to our world than what we see? If just beneath the surface, ancient secrets are waiting to be awakened? Well, for 5 ordinary friends, that question became their reality. Imagine this. One moment, you're just living your life, hanging out, laughing, maybe worrying about school or work. The next, a mysterious, brilliant light envelops the entire planet, and suddenly, you can control the elements. Fire, water, earth, air, it's all at your fingertips. For Liam, Maya, Chloe, Noah, and Ben, this wasn't a dream. As the light faded, they discovered they were no longer just friends. They were something more, but they weren't the only ones who awakened. As news channels flickered to life with chaotic reports from around the globe, the world watched in horror. From the deepest oceans, colossal leviathans rose, their forms shrouded in mist and legend. In the highest mountain peaks, creatures of stone and magma stirred from a slumber that had lasted millennia. Dense, ancient forests came alive with monstrous plant-like beasts, their vines lashing out, reclaiming land that was once theirs. The world was suddenly plunged into a new, terrifying age of myth and monsters. Humanity was no longer at the top of the food chain. Panic spread like wildfire, and no one knew what to do. Amidst the chaos, the 5 friends found each other, drawn together by an unseen force. They soon learned their newfound powers were no accident. They were part of an ancient prophecy, a lineage of guardians destined to protect the world from the very monsters that were now rampaging across it. It was a heavy burden, a call to adventure they never asked for. But looking at the fear in people's eyes and the destruction on their screens, they knew they couldn't turn away. They had to unite. They had to become the heroes the world desperately needed. Their first mission came quickly. A small village nestled on the edge of a sprawling forest was under attack. A monstrous, sentient plant creature, a grove terror was its name, and it was engulfing everything in its path. With a shared look of determination, the new team set off, their journey as protectors officially beginning. Their path led them across breathtaking and treacherous landscapes. Each new environment brought a new challenge, a new monster, and a new lesson. They traveled to the jagged peaks of the Forgotten Mountains, where they battled a formidable rock monster, a golem of immense strength and resilience. Its stony hide was nearly impenetrable, forcing them to think on their feet. Liam, with his control over fire, had to find the golem's molten core, while Chloe used her earth powers to shift the very ground beneath it, creating openings for the others to strike. It was a brutal fight that taught them the importance of strategy over raw power. They learned to combine their abilities in creative and devastating ways. Maya's water and Noah's air powers merged to create powerful, cutting torrents of pressurized water, while Ben's lightning-fast strikes could stun a beast just long enough for a coordinated attack. From the cold mountains, their journey took them to the scorching, endless sands of the Crimson Desert. Here, they hunted a swift, sand-swimming beast that moved like a blur beneath the dunes, striking without warning. This battle wasn't about strength, but about speed and anticipation. They had to learn to sense its movements, to predict its path, and to work in perfect sync to corner it. Every victory, every trial, forged them into a more cohesive unit. They weren't just 5 individuals with powers anymore. They were a single, unstoppable force. Their training wasn't just physical, it was mental. They learned to trust each other completely, to rely on one another's strengths, and to support each other's weaknesses. The bonds of their friendship deepened, tempered in the heat of battle, becoming as strong as the ancient forces they now wielded. Just as they began to master their powers, the ultimate threat emerged. A colossal monster, a true kaiju of apocalyptic scale, rose from the depths of the ocean and began its slow, relentless march toward a major coastal metropolis. This creature was different. It was a culmination of the elemental chaos, a walking natural disaster that dwarfed anything they had ever faced. It wasn't just a monster. It was an extinction-level event. The military's weapons were useless, bouncing off its hide like toys. Panic gripped the city as millions of lives hung in the balance. This was it. This was the battle the prophecy had foretold. This was their greatest test. The fight for the city was a symphony of destruction and heroism. The team threw everything they had at the colossal beast. The sky crackled with Ben's lightning, and the streets flooded as Maya summoned massive waves to slow the monster's advance. Liam unleashed towering infernos, attempting to sear its armored skin, while Chloe erected massive earthen walls to shield fleeing civilians. Noah created hurricane-force winds to buffet the creature, trying to throw it off balance, but it was relentless. The fight pushed them to their absolute limits and beyond. They were exhausted, battered, but they refused to give up. In the heart of the battle, pushed by desperation and their unwavering will to protect, something new awakened within them. They unlocked a new level of their elemental abilities, their powers flaring with an intensity they had never known. It was a spectacular, dazzling display of raw elemental fury. They combined their amplified powers into one final, cataclysmic attack, a focused blast of pure energy that struck the monster at its core. With a deafening roar that shook the entire city, the colossal monster finally fell. Silence descended, broken only by the distant sounds of sirens and the relieved cries of the people they had saved. They had done it. They had saved the city. Standing together amidst the rubble, bruised but unbroken, the five friends looked at each other. They knew this victory wasn't an end. It was a new beginning. The world was forever changed, and other threats were surely lurking in the shadows, waiting for their moment. But now, the world had protectors. They stood tall, a beacon of hope in a world now filled with monsters, ready to face whatever came next. Their journey had just begun. Thank you so much for watching this epic tale unfold. If you love stories about heroes, monsters, and incredible powers, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures. Let us know in the comments which elemental power you would want to have. We'll see you in the next one.